to the entertaining Talkin' Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about a rumor that has just been leaked by Ralph Vacchiano of SNY Sports. And Ralph Vacchiano is a source that I really trust. Now, let me start off by saying that this is still extremely early in the process. We have not even gotten to the combine yet. So nothing's set in stone. Opinions could be changed, and they may love other players. But according to Ralph Vacchiano, and I'll show you the quote in a second, and it was the headline of the article, the New York Giants are in love with Tristan Wirfs, the tackle out of Iowa. And this is not the first time I've heard this. Daniel Jeremiah reportedly said it on his podcast, I think a week or two ago. So even if they're not going to take Tristan Wirfs, I think if nothing else, this tells you that the New York Giants are focusing heavily on taking potentially an offensive lineman with that first, the fourth overall pick in this year's draft. And we'll see. Obviously, things will start to shape up after free agency. And like I said, it's before the combine. If Wirfs goes out there, has a horrible combine, and Andrew Thomas impresses, or, somebody else may impress, Becton, whoever it may be, maybe they change their mind. But it seems to me, at least right now, the New York Giants are focusing on taking an offensive tackle. Now, the interesting thing with Wirfs is he played right tackle for the first 3 years of his career. He's a former wrestler and is known predominantly to be a fantastic run blocker. But I don't think he'd be a left tackle for the New York Giants if they drafted him. He may be. He played a little bit of it with Iowa. But a lot of people have him projected to either be a right tackle or a guard at the NFL level. And many experts have said that he'd be a fantastic run blocker, which might be the line of thinking that Dave Gettleman has. He might look, everybody wants Jack Conklin. He might look at Wirfs as a guy that doesn't have the injury history of Conklin. He's 5 years younger and could come in and be that Conklin as a rookie. So that might be his line of thinking if they decide to go with Wirfs. But let's jump into the quotes from who I think is one of the most reliable sources there is, Ralph Vacchiano, and I'll show you why. But first, I'll show you the quote about Tristan Wirfs on SNY. It came out about 2 hours ago, and actually Andy from my Discord pointed me to it, so I want to shout him out again. In fact, the Giants already love Iowa tackle Tristan Wirfs, according to an NFL source familiar with the Giants' thinking. And they have expressed similar interest in Alabama's Jedrick Wills. Jedrick Wills, of course, I had mocked to the Giants in my first mock draft, and I've heard rumors, not so much rumors linked to the Giants, but Wills has been moving up draft charts, and Wills, by many experts, they believe he's the best well-rounded offensive lineman. But again, a guy who played right tackle. Now, he did block for Tua, and Tua's a lefty quarterback, so he was his blindside protection. But this is now 2 people who have said the New York Giants love Wills. Both of them are widely considered among the top 4 offensive line prospects in this year's class, and they will get a good look from the entire league at the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis next week. Now, this was Ralph Vacchiano last year, 2 days before the NFL draft, and he was the first guy to report this story, and at the time, I did not believe it. There are a number of people around the NFL who just don't believe him and think he's preparing to take Duke quarterback at Daniel Jones at number 6. That's their guy, an NFL source told SNY on Wednesday. They love him, and they have for a while. I can't imagine they'll wait until 17. He's not likely to last that long. So there's a history with Ralph Vacchiano, at least being a pretty credible guy to go to news for with the New York Giants. So I'm sure the New York Giants probably do love Wirfs, being that I've now heard this from Jeremiah, and now I've heard it from Vacchiano. Whether or not that means they'll draft him, that remains to be seen. They could certainly still trade down and try to take Wirfs there. They could stay at 4 and take him. We won't know until draft night, but I'm sure more and more rumors will continue to circulate. Wirfs is a player I really like. The one thing that I'm not in love with is the fact that a lot of people feel like he's going to be a guard at some point in time, or at least that would be his best position. And I've read several people say he'd be an all-pro as a guard at the NFL level. I would suppose if they shifted him to the guard, he would replace Kevin Zeitler, who's getting up there in age in a year or two. But I don't think he's going to be a left tackle for the New York Giants if they do indeed draft him. Where he does struggle, at least somewhat, from everything I've read and seen on film, is a bit in pass protection. People say he needs to work on his technique, things of that nature. And if he is ever going to become a left tackle, he would need to improve his pass protection greatly. But he could still be a dominant run blocking offensive lineman, something that the New York Giants definitely need, being that they're trying to build the running game around Saquon Barkley. We're going to have to wait and see until draft night if the New York Giants do, in fact, take Tristan Wirfs. But he's certainly on their radar, and he's certainly going to be a guy to keep your eye on at the NFL Combine. I'm sure Dave Gettleman and the New York Giants staff will have their eye on him as well. But he does fit what they're looking for. Former wrestler, a mauler, a run blocker, a guy that will win at the point of attack. And we'll see what the New York Giants think. As always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.